Hello everyone, hope you all are doing well. So today we are going to discuss the next question of our agriculture optional answer writing practice series, and the question for today is briefly discuss significant features of heterosis and explain the dominance and overdominance hypothesis of heterosis giving their main features. So this question was asked in this year's agriculture optional paper of UPSC CSE, that is in 2025 in 10 marker. So let's see how we can approach the answer. And we all know that heterosis is one of the most important topics. A lot of questions have been asked on heterosis previously, and it will be asked in future also. So let's see how we can approach the answer. So you can divide questions in two parts. In the first part, you can discuss the features of heterosis, and in the second part, you can discuss dominance and overdominance hypothesis. So let's start the answer. So in introduction part, you can simply define heterosis. We don't have need to go too much in detail or anything. You can simply give a one-liner definition of heterosis as Searle has given. As per Searle, many also pronounce it as Sul. So whatever you want to pronounce, Searle or Sul depends on you. So as per Searle, who gave that definition of this heterosis in 1908. So he defined heterosis as the increased vigor, size, the increased vigor, size, fertility, and general performance of hybrid and general performance of hybrid over its parents. Or more simply, you can mention it as that heterosis is the dominance of F1 hybrid. Heterosis is the dominance of F1 hybrid over both of its parents. So this is the most simple definition, that heterosis is the dominance, and that dominance can be in terms of vigor, in terms of size, in terms of fertility, or in terms of any general performance of F1 hybrid over its parents. So this is how you can define heterosis. Suppose there are two parents, AA and AA. Okay, small a and capital A. So here suppose the production age of this parent is 10 kgs for example, and the production of this parent is AA is equal to 6 kgs. So when you cross these two parents, the offspring will be capital A small a AA, and the production will be dominant over both of these parents, that is more than both 10 and 6 kgs. So it could be kind of 12 kg, let it be. So it could be 12 kg, that is dominant over both of its parents. So F1 will be kind of dominant, or it will have increased vigor, fertility, general performance, all these things over its parents. So this is how you can define heterosis. Now let's move to the first part of the question, that is significant features of heterosis. So what are the significant features? Let's discuss significant features of heterosis. So first feature is obviously hybrid superiority. That is, the F1 will show, the F1 hybrid will show better performance than the parents. Okay, so F1 will show the better performance than parents, F1 hybrid. Then secondly, obviously it is universal occurrence. It can be seen in heterosis, universal occurrence, which means it can be observed in both cross and self-pollinated crops, animals, microorganisms, in all the things. You can simply mention it can be observed in both self-pollination crops and cross-pollinated crops. So it is kind of universal. It is not limited to one or two plants or one or two species. Next, it is very character specific. That is, it can express differently for various traits. Suppose it can be high for yield, okay, it can be moderate for height. So it is kind of character specific. It is nothing that it is generalized for characters, that if it's high for yield, it will be also high for height or anything. It can be medium also. So it is very character specific. For different characters, the performance of heterosis will be different. Next, you can also mention that it is non-fixable. Non-fixable. That is, heterosis is not fixed. Suppose from the parents we have got F1. So this, when this F1 acts as parent, it is not fixed that the heterosis character will pass to F2 or F3 or similar and the following generations, because what happens, heterosis will be maximum in F1, but it will decline in later generations due to segregations. This decline can be seen due to segregations. So it is not fixed that if you have fixed heterosis in one generation, it is for forever. No, it will segregate, and the performance in coming generations or later generations will be reduced. So it is non-fixable. Next, it depends on gene action. Okay, so there is genetic basis of heterosis, and we all know that in genetic basis. So I hope you understand all these things. So it is non-flexible due to segregations. So in genetic basis, you will see that the heterosis is it depends on generally kind of gene action, and these gene action can be of three types: dominance gene action, overdominance gene action, and epistatis gene action, which is asked in the question. Epistatis gene actions, and dominance and overdominance have been directly asked in the question. Okay, so we will discuss. And last and not the least, but one of the most important thing, that it can be exploited through hybrid breeding. Heterosis can be exploited through hybrid breeding. So I think these are the 5-6 significant features. If you mention in the answer, you will get good amount of marks. Now we all know that these dominance and overdominance hypotheses are the theories related to heterosis. So we will discuss them. First of all, we will discuss the dominant hypothesis, then we will discuss the overdominance hypothesis. So dominance hypothesis. So the concept of dominance hypothesis is that heterosis arises due to the masking of deleterious recessive alleles. Okay, heterosis arises due to masking of deleterious recessive alleles, okay, of one parent, by dominant favorable alleles of other, by dominant favorable alleles of other. Suppose we have AA into AA. So here, not this A into A. Suppose this capital A is dominant and this is recessive and deleterious. So what happens? Heterosis arises because this dominant will show over this recessive. Okay, the product will be A, and this will be kind of it kind of masked. The recessive deleterious alleles will be masked, and this is how heterosis is exploited. Okay, so this is what kind of dominance heterosis is. And here kind of no new gene interactions occurs. Here is the kind of, you can say, here we have improvement is additive in nature. In dominance hypothesis, improvement is additive in nature. That is, no new thing happens, but the only these characters are added so that the improvement is more. Okay, improvement is additive in nature. So I hope you I hope you understand it. And here kind of the heterozygosis or heterozygotes is more, okay, due to the masking of recessive. The heterozygotes show maximum vigor due to the masking of these recessive alleles, which can show minimum or low vigors. So you understand what dominance hypothesis wants us to understand, that heterosis arises due to the masking of deleterious recessive alleles of one parent by dominant favorable alleles of other, and that dominant favorable alleles is added. The improvement is due to additive gene action. This is what dominance hypothesis is. Now the next one is the overdominance hypothesis. So I hope you understand dominance hypothesis. Make a note of it if you have don't, and you can write these things in the answer. Now we have overdominance hypothesis. Overdominance hypothesis. So this was proposed by Easton Cell. Easton Cell. So here the concept is that heterosis results because I'm writing only heterosis results, okay, because the heterozygous condition itself is superior, because the heterozygous condition itself is superior to either homozygous condition, either homozygous condition. It says that as per Easton's rule that this heterozygous is itself is superior. We don't have to mask or anything we have to do. Okay, although masking happens, that is dominance hypothesis. In overdominance hypothesis, if masking also does not happen, it doesn't matter. The heterozygous is itself is superior than either of homozygous. Suppose you have two homozygous, AA, one homozygous, and a small this is another homozygous. So when this heterozygous becomes AA, this is heterozygous, different alleles, here similar ones. So when heterozygous happens, it itself is superior. It does not have to prove anything. It itself is superior. If this is take 10 unit, it is 6 unit, it will be showing 12 units because itself is superior only. So this is what Easton Cell wants to show us. Okay. You can also mention features of overdominance hypothesis. I hope the features of, you can mention this in points as features of dominance hypothesis. Now in features of overdominance hypothesis, one you can mention that yes, it is because heterozygous condition in itself is superior to either homozygous condition. Even you can make this cross also, capital A and small a are homozygous and then A is heterozygous. Okay, and one more thing is that this overdominance hypothesis also explains that how heterosis declines in succeeding generations. It explains that heterosis declines in succeeding generations. Succeeding generations. Okay, so this you can mention. So I think this was overdominance hypothesis, and this is the definition of overdominance hypothesis. This is the concept of overdominance hypothesis given by Easton Cell in 1908. So this was about your answer. Okay, I hope you can write a good amount of answer using this. And in conclusion, you can mention that yes, heterosis is very important for hybrid crop development in maize, sorghum, rice, cotton, tomato, all these crops. It is also helpful in vegetable breeding, animal breeding. So if agriculture optional paper, be stick to crop breeding only. Okay, it is very important for development of hybrid crop development of hybrid crop. If you write this conclusion, it would be more than enough. So I think this was for today's answer. I hope you understand what heterosis is, what are the features of heterosis, and what dominance and overdominance hypothesis tries us to explain. So I think this was all for the answer. If you like it, please press the like button. Please do share and please do subscribe. It takes a lot of hard work to make such videos for you on regular basis. And if you like, if you share, if you subscribe, it motivates us to make more such videos for you regularly. So that is all for today. Have a nice day. Thank you.